Richmond with a bucket here can cut it back to 5, and I think that's big for them heading into the fourth.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Richmond coach couldn't have asked for a better end to this quarter.
Well, he spoke too soon. Morgan, that's big.
Richmond has 2 people on the opposite end of the court, and the Rebels just noticed that. But
so a second left, so they need to get it to about half court here to try to get a shot off.
Yeah.
Not
so
gonna do that.
I'm actually surprised the Rebels are still up that far, but you know,
I don't mind it.
as long as they don't foul.
Yeah. So the Rebels are going to head into the fourth quarter up 9. They had it as high as 13 at one point. Bobcats went on a little run, but the Rebels kind of stopped it there at the end. And
yeah, they got a big steal at half court.
So I just want to point out a huge quarter by Cooper Morgan. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 points by Cooper in that quarter. He had no points in the first half, and now I think he's the Rebels' leading scorer now.
And on the Richmond side, I've got Jake Gay with another 7 points that quarter, and David Edwards also with 7 points. So that's the majority of Richmond's scoring in the third quarter there.
And as you mentioned, due to foul trouble, the Rebels had to go to a little bit smaller lineup, but it seems to have worked out okay. They have maybe a little bit better matchup with the Bobcats and their speed. So I would expect they would stick with that lineup here. Kellogg with the 4 fouls, and it's working, so I would expect them to stay with it.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Kimball, I'm just keeping Kellogg on the bench now with 4 fouls, and if for some reason this lineup stops working, then you can put him back in there. And you made it.
If Marshall needs a blow. Dupre to inbound. Rebels are with Dupre, Morgan, Marshall, and Cirello. Morgan skips it to Brody for 3.
A deep one.
Yep.
Good defense.
Cirello again.
Good board. Oh, it's over the back. It's over the back.
It's going to be, they're just going to call it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Either way, it's the Rebels' ball. 52-43 entering the fourth here. Western Hills Access Television, YouTube.
Ooh, tough spot. Somebody's got to go to the ball. The Rebels have got to get. Go to him. Ah.
Again, that's where they're missing Hedden a little bit.
Yep.
He's part of that. That's a big defensive and one by number 11, Jake Gay. But that's where they're missing Hedden. He's a big part of that perimeter offense.
Right.
And he'll go to the ball in that situation. Billings to check in for Cirello.
Yeah, and I think that was Cirello's man, but Cirello got caught on the other end of the court. And what I'd like to see is the Rebels had a couple of defenders near that man who instead of picking him up, ran to cover their own man and left that man wide open. I'd like to see them almost switch in that case. And that's where that communication on defense comes in.
7-point lead for the Rebels. The Bobcats have hurt themselves with a lot of missed free throws. Morgan gets it to the center with Marshall. Dupre for 3.
Yep.
It's his third 3 of the night. He's now in double figures.
They got somebody.
Edwards.
Ooh.
Gay with the rebound. Brody looking to push. He's got Cooper on the wing. He's got Marshall with him. He's got Dupre in the corner. Where's he going to go? The draw foul.
Yep. Well, drawing a foul is still not a bad thing.
55-45, 10-point lead for the Rebels. 7 minutes to play here in the fourth. Marshall comes up to receive the ball to the basket. Swings it back to Billings. Billings will drive left-handed. Good take by Billings.
With his right.
Wow. Okay.
I thought a jump ball was coming, but that's better for the Rebels.
Number 12.
Rebels are up 10 here.
Dufresne checking back in for Ben Fournier. Morgan.
It's tough, but shoot that with your left, and he's got that open shot. If he can make that with his left, it's easier said than done.
Rebels are going to stay in for. Here he goes. Good job by Marshall. Good adjustment.
Yep.
Jake's going to push. Gay's going to push.
So you see him, he went for the steal. Somebody picked his man up there, which initially stopped the fast break.
Good job by Dupre.
Yeah.
Head to Billings. Billings, it's to the basket.
It's 3. Well, they had a 3-on-3 right there for a minute. The Rebels did.
Yeah, and if you're listening at home, you might say, well, 3-on-3, there's no advantage there. But what is the advantage? More space?
Yeah, for space for the offense. More space to drive to the hoop, more space to shoot.
So even though there's no man advantage, it's still a little bit of an advantage to the offense?
Yeah, to me, I think that's the way I look at it.
Oh, we got away with a bump there.
Yeah.
Shoot that.
A little short. Oh, Rebels. Yeah. I thought they were going to get the rebound there.
So just under 6 minutes to play, 10-point lead for the Rebels.
The Rebels have got to keep playing with intensity, but they've got to play smart. If the fast break's there, push it and take it. If it's not, don't. Because right now, time is on your side. Good
D by Morgan. Good take by Steele. So right now it's a competition between Dupre and Morgan for the defensive player of the game.
Underneath, nice.
And Cooper, he's just living off that wide open block.
Yeah.
Marshall's.
Richmond just hasn't been able to make the adjustment to stop that this half. The Rebels have had a lot of open looks underneath.
Cooper's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 points, and 6 of those are that exact play.
Yep.
Yeah, one of them came off a steal. But
don't you love getting those buckets when you're on the court?
Yeah, and that's the difference. But Cooper also, he may not be the most athletic kid on the floor, but he has a knack for being in the right place at the right time, and that's not accidental.
Right. That's experience and knowledge.
Yeah, and he's a young kid, but he knows where to be. I think he's only a sophomore. So 8-point lead for the Rebels. There it is again. He's just getting to the block.
What he needed to do there was power dribble, or up fake, power dribble, and go back up.
The coach is asking about timeouts because in his head he's got to be thinking, I got to stop this if we're going to get back in this game.
Right.
Good take. 12 to Frame.
His
cut it to 6.
First points of the half so far.
Brody.
Well,
they're in the 1-3-1 now, and the
Rebels seem to be struggling with that right now. Get the boards.
So
now push. Oh. So because the Rebels have having a hard time.
Coach Kimball wants a timeout. He's going to get it. So yeah, Richmond made an adjustment there. They went back to the 1-3-1, got a couple turnovers. We now have a 6-point game.
Yep. And we said earlier in the first half, I'd like to see Coach Kimball come out of, the Rebels come out with 2 plans, because they're either going to stick with what they were doing or they're going to make an adjustment to counter the Rebels' adjustment. It's just a game of chess here, right? These coaches are smart. They know what's going on. Coach Kimball saw that change that you were just noting. He's going to make an adjustment, but he has to have a plan for what this coach is going to do. And you should come out of this timeout with at least 2 defensive strategies or 2 offensive strategies in place for breaking that press.
Yeah, and obviously right now the Bobcats are only getting in that 1-3-1 off a make or an inbound, a full court. So we'll see what the Rebels are going to do to break that. Again, get to the middle. Dupre to inbound. He seems to be their inbounder.
Ow!
Quick bucket there from Steele. So it's now a 4-point game. They're in, and here they are in the 1-3-1.
Yep. Underneath. There it is.
Okay.
Other than the miss, that's exactly how you make it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how you break it. So they're going to make a
Steele with the board. 2-on-1.
Good job by Marshall to not foul there.
Good take by Billings.
Yeah, there's good pass by Dupre.
Good
They got to get back. Yeah, that's a foul. That's not what you want if you're the Rebels.
So a good adjustment from the Richmond coach here off that last timeout. The Rebels with a good adjustment to break the 1-3-1.
Yep.
Now they've just got to repeat it, and defensively the Rebels still need to get back.
They need to get back there. Yeah, that's not what you want there.
One possession game for the first time here in a while. Here they are in the 1-3-1. Let's see what they do. Richmond drops down to Prey.
Yeah, it's there. Foul.
And one. I don't know. I know the 1-3-1 for the Bobcats sort of got him back in the game, but they got to make an adjustment. I mean, you can't just keep giving a layup on the block.
I mean, he's got to have at least 10 or 12 points from the block right now.
Yeah, I think he has 12.
Get the board. Nice.
Good hustle.
Oh.
It's going to be Bobcats ball. So it's a 5-point game, but again, if you're the Bobcats, you've got to figure out how to stop that. I mean, if I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose on a three-pointer in the corner or something, not a layup at the block.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But Rebels are going to take it all day if it's there.
Yeah, and if you're the Rebels, keep pounding it until it's not there. You've got to keep going there. So a big possession here, 3 minutes to play.
Sure.
5-point game.
Time's becoming more important with every tick.
The Bobcats have 2 timeouts remaining. I'm guessing the Rebels probably have 2 as well. That's Edwards.
That's a nice
off.
look. It's an open look. That's out of bounds.
So Steele, number 4, has done a nice job getting into position, but he's struggled to finish.
Yeah, I don't have a good reason for that.
So here's Morgan. So here's a good opportunity again.
Oh boy. Those long looping passes always make me nervous.
That's Marshall.
More points in the paint. Points in the paint.
And the Rebels right back to that full court man. 63-56, 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play here in the 4th quarter. Defensive chant erupts from the crowd.
Yep.
Steele needs help.
Rebels
Gets it.
The Rebels did a little swap there on Steele for a second, but they're back on their men.
Steele to the basket.
Nice crossover. Nice
He's able to finish that one. 5-point game. Morgan to inbound. Bobcats in the 1-3-1.
You got 10 seconds to get it across half, so take 8 of them if you have to, if you're the Rebels.
There it is.
Richmond had a guy there, but he's hustling back, but not going to get there.
This could be it. Let's see if the Rebels can put the nail in the coffin.
They got lucky.
To Marshall.
It's good board.
For 2.
Good forward shot.
It's going to be tough now for the Bobcats. They need to push.
Rebels have to play smart. If they play stupid, it won't be tough for them. But if the Rebels play smart, it's going to be tough for the Bobcats to make up a 9-point difference here.
And if you're the Bobcats, he's going to use a timeout.
Yeah.
They can't keep wasting time. They got to attack. Right? Down 9 points with a minute and a half left.
Oh yeah, and they haven't shot real well from the outside, so they're going to have to. You can't. They're not going to get 3 threes probably, unless their shooting all of a sudden jumps up.
And we hear some ball game over chants from the crowd. It's not over, but they do need to get going. They need to attack if they're going to try to get back into it here with a minute and a half left.
Yeah, from the Rebels, and they want to pass the ball around the perimeter. Go ahead, and if you want to take a deep 3, okay.
And if you're the Rebels offensively, if they're going to keep giving you that layup on the block to Cooper Morgan, keep taking it.
Sure. And if the layup is not there, then take your time on offense. You're under 2 minutes now. You have a 9-point lead. If you're not going to make the basket, at least take some time off the clock.
So yeah, like you said, the Rebels up 9. Just about a minute and a half to play. 67-58. I think Richmond's down to 1 timeout, so they again have to score, and they have to score quick, and then they're going to need some seals. It's going to be Richmond ball. Let's see what they draw up off the timeout.
And I do want to give some credit to the coaches, because we've seen each team really react to each coach's timeout, which tells me that the coaches are making the right adjustments. So we'll see how Richmond does coming out of this.
Edwards to the basket.
Yep, that's a good no call. That was an up and
That should be, yeah. So I think the Rebels really have a chance here to kind of put this away. I mean, if you can make it double figures with a minute to play, that's going to be tough to overcome.
Yep.
We'll see when Richmond wants to foul. They're going to go full court man.
Yeah, okay. I thought they were going to double team for a second, but they bumped off of it. Must have head off Richmond, I guess.
Minute 14 to play. Richmond.
You know, I don't mind that. Go to the hoop. Again, if you're going to get a wide open shot or you're going to get a layup, take it. If not, take your time.
Marshall swings over to Brody.
Yeah.
And they'll use a foul here. So they need to use, I think, one more before we get to the bonus.
Yeah, and that might have been intentionally just to do that, to get to the bonus. We'll see if they play that game up 9. We'll see if they play that.
Dupre to inbound. Marshall back to Dupre. Good job pulling it out. There they go. Marshall.
Yep, in and out, in and out. No rush, in and out all day. Oh.
I think Marshall will go to the line for 2. Yep.
The other thing the Rebels might as well do here is keep it in the hands of your good free throw shooters. Right now from the line, I've got Richmond is 6 for 11 from the line. Telstar is 4 for 6 from the line.
And that's number 3 for the Bobcats, Ben Fournier. He just fouled out. Marshall goes 1 of 2 to make it a 10-point game. 4 possessions.
5 for 7 from the line for the Rebels here.
Bobcats need to push.
Yeah, they need to move fast. Good board.
I think we'll see if they foul.
One more. Good idea. Look at that. He knew that. Marshall knew that was that the other Marshall? No, Cooper. Sorry, Marshall knew that Cooper was wide open under that block before he caught that pass.
As he has been the entire second half, and we'll talk about it at the end, but that's really what the Achilles heel was the second half for the Bobcats.
You know, I like that the Rebels are making their free throws tonight.
And again, when we total it, we'll see what we have, but just a monster second half from Cooper Morgan. Good D from Dupre.
Yeah, he's staying straight up, and that's what you do. There's no reason to foul. Don't let him score with the clock stopped.
I don't think they'll foul again. So I'm going to go ahead and say, who do you have for defensive player of the game?
I don't know. I mean,
I think you got to give it to Dupre.
I was going to go that way. He had at least 3, if not 4 steals. He had a tough matchup all night long too.
So the Rebels are going to win the game by 10. 70-60 is the final. Unofficial scoring.
Do you want to go?
The Bobcats.
Well, I got to add some things up here. So you got something to talk about? Maybe some sponsorships here?
Well, take a look at our sponsors, but I do want to shout out to our listeners and Riley Hedden. Hopefully he's feeling better so that the Rebels can have him back for next week. And again, final score tonight, 70-60, Richmond Bobcats. Telstar Rebels win the game. And I think we're back here on Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week for some triple headers.
So the unofficial scoring that I have, Zayden Steele with 4 points, Jake Gay with 16 points, Liam Dufresne with 7 points, David Edwards with 13 points, and Xander Steele with 17 points.
And for the Rebels, Grady Kellogg with 3, Brody Morgan with 8, Reggie Billings with 6, Dakota Sorello with 6, Connor Dupre with 13, Johnny Marshall with 14, and Cooper Morgan led the way with 19 points all in the second half. And I think 14 of them were on that lower block off the fast break.
Yeah, we saw a lot of good switching adjustments made by the coaches. Certainly some big adjustments by the Rebels at halftime. You know, really kudos to both coaches because they went back and forth, and obviously the Rebels, you know, came out on top here.
Yeah, and like you said, shout out to Coach Kimball for making those adjustments. And we'll see what brings us to next week. So again, I'm Danny Whitney, joined by Andy, Josh Morton on the camera. Thanks to Mike Pelletier for helping us out in the first game. Western Hills Access Television and YouTube. We'll be back next week. Have a good weekend, and thank you.